Hello, welcome to East West Gaming. I'm West.
And I'm East. Let's get started now.
Yeah, so we're going to go into the lighthouse now. Check out the lighthouse.
Very big lighthouse.
Yes, indeed. Very old looking inside as well. They look like loads of flat screen TVs all laid out, don't they, on the walls?
No, it looks like the flat screen TVs are laid flat, facing up. I knew you thought he was gonna try and battle you.
I did, yeah, I did.
Generally speaking, the first four, they don't generally battle you.
Yeah, they sort of greet you, yeah.
I like to play, so...
Fine gentleman.
Are you going to try and stop me, fine gentleman?
Gentleman Alfred.
Oh, he's got a very gentlemanly name as well.
Alfred, I bet you know he's Batman. Alfred. Secretly, he's just keeping an eye on things, you know, even in the Pokémon world. You'll see the bat signal come on in the distance.
Wow.
You'll think, oh, look at that legendary Pokémon up there. It's a Lunala or something, and you know, Batman just comes in and saves the day.
Yeah, but Batman didn't help against Team Rocket.
And Batman doesn't come in with Robin, he comes in with a Fletchling or something instead. Fletchling, use Ember now.
Oh, did you know Batman, unless he's with the Justice League, barely leaves Gotham City because he only defends Gotham.
Yeah, true. Safe. 693 experience points.
Not bad.
Lovely. Thank you, fine gentlemen. Even a nice modest 1,400 for beating him.
Well, you know, gentlemen do tend to have a bit more.
Sailor Huey.
I like Poliwag.
I like it, cute. Little tadpole Pokemon.
I mean, you know, his mouth is a bit bigger than you would expect. I've always thought those swirls was his actual, you know... Yeah, when I was younger, I always thought it was like some sort of weird mouth or something like that.
Yeah, and me. The tail of the tadpole. I think then it loses its tail in the Poliwhirl. And the spiral rotates the opposite direction as well. And then you give him a Water Stone and he becomes Poliwrath. And if you give him a King's Rock, he becomes Politoed.
And I believe the Sparrow changes again on Poliwrath.
I'm unsure of that. I know it did with Poliwag to Poliwhirl. And I know there's only is it a small red swirl on Politoed?
I thought it was a green swirl, isn't it?
I don't know. I know it was a different swirl, like different colour and stuff.
Oh, it might have been. I don't know, because I always thought it was the same colour as the skin, which always confused me. Because why did it turn into a green coloured one? You know what I mean? Why green? And I didn't like the way it really looked. You know, after evolution, you know, at least Poliwrath was a very cool looking evolution.
Yeah, I did like Poliwrath. Good Pokemon. Quite a powerful one as well.
It was a physical attacking one, I believe.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Because I know
Seismic Toss was one of his best moves.
Because I know, later on he becomes a water fighting type.
Yes, he does, yes.
Whereas before, he used to be a water type, I think.
Yeah, he did learn fighting moves in Gen 1, but he was only a water type, yeah. Safe. Do you like to save, Pidgey? You do now.
Well, birds like to go into the wilds. Not birds in general, but you know, seagulls go into the water to dive to get their fish.
Yeah.
Their dinner.
Well, that's what Wingull does, doesn't he? Wingull evolves into Pelipper. He can now scoop plenty of fish in one beakful.
And Pikachu's too.
Yeah, I remember that. He was one of my favourites, Wingull. I always liked Wingull.
See, that's the problem with me, is I never really liked Wingull that much. I didn't like the way that Philippa looked.
I think everyone has their own Pokemon what they like, don't they? This is the good thing with Pokemon. There's such a variety that there's a Pokemon for everybody.
I mean, you know, there is over 1,000 Pokemon now, so if you can't find one that you specifically like, there's going to be another 1,000 in, like, how many years? 30 years?
Well, when Gen 10 releases, I'm guessing it's next year. I think they've said it's going to be next year. There's going to be potentially over 1,100 by then. Because ZA is going to add a few new ones as well.
I was going to say, didn't ZA say they were going to release a few more?
Yeah, because they did on Arceus, they had a few on there, didn't they? So I think they will with ZA as well, definitely.
However, I believe with a new generation, you know, the new generation 10, they should have more than 70 Pokemon new, you know.
Yeah, I can't remember which gen it was. It had the least. I think it might have been Gen 5. I can't remember. I think Gen 3's was the biggest out of all the generations.
Didn't it have the most legendaries as well?
Yeah, I think it had over 170 that gen. Gen 1 was 151, so I think Gen 1 was the second biggest, so I think Gen 3 was the biggest. I don't know exactly how many though, so I'm not going to say any specific number.
No, because, you know, I thought it would be a good standard to have, like, you know, at least 100 new Pokemon every generation as a minimum. You know, I know it's quite hard to think of new Pokemon. However, there's plenty of fan, you know, ideas which are quite impressive, which Pokemon could incorporate, you know, in. I mean, already fans have been asking for more evolutions.
Yeah, evolutions. They were doing the Reggies instead, though, weren't they? And Sword and Shield. They gave them two new types: the electric and dragon type one, and then in Legends Arceus they had the new fairy type weather Pokemon.
But I understand it's the Pokemon of love. I just didn't understand the point of it. It's not a weather ailment.
No.
So I think for me, if it was a different if it was part of a different trio, fair enough. But I couldn't see that as like a weather type, you know, legendary. So I was a bit put off by it, really. Not by the way that the Pokemon looked itself, but the fact that they included it as part of the weather trio. Because I think there's other like weather, you know, elements that they could have used, you know, if they wanted to expand the trio. Because it's now technically not even a trio anymore. I'm now just wondering when their next like.
Because they already did that weather Pokemon, didn't they? That the one that could turn into a sun and the snowflake.
Oh yes, cast form.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I'd completely forgotten about cast form.
You had the raindrop form. You had the overcast form, which was I think was his standard like cloud form, and then you had the snowflake one as well,
and the fire one, the sun one.
Good Pokemon that was. You could only get one in that game as well, couldn't you? One of it.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me, I need to probably get myself a cast form at some point.
I can't remember what the shiny one looks like.
No, I don't think it was too different. So, yeah, I mean, I think with like cast form, it was the main cast form itself wasn't too different in terms of shiny shading. Yeah, you can barely tell the difference between them anyways.
Yeah. So we're just having a look at the actual sprites. There isn't much difference. Oh, we sent out a Krabby. I love Krabby. He was a fan favourite. Well, Krabby and Kingler, weren't they?
Yes, I actually wanted to use Kingler. Like, Kingler would have been one of the few, like, 2-stage evolution forms that I would have gone for. The only other one I can think of myself using besides, well, obviously you've got Gyarados, like, you know, that was a, you know, but he's on a different level, I think.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people use that one, but the only other one I could think of myself using would have been in the first gen. Anyways, would have been Arcanine. Yeah, Arcanine.
Bubble. Thanks for using Bubble. Needed that little bit of water on me. Feel a bit dry in my shell at the moment.
Do you know what? I'm very glad that they gave evolutions to Electabuzz and Magmar.
Yeah, I liked Electabuzz and Magmar. I preferred Magmar out of the two.
I'm Electabuzz myself.
Rollout. Vice grip.
Oh, is
you beat me with your vice grip. No. Save the day, Bloom.
I was looking at Flash and I was just like, do you really still need Flash? But then I just remembered you can't get rid of it just quite yet.
No, I mean, Bloom doesn't really learn too many decent moves later. Just the Mega Drain, I think, is its good move.
Doesn't it know Solar Beam?
No, it doesn't learn any of them.
Oh, really?
I think you can learn it via a TM, but I only ever got mine up to like level 50 or something in the past, when I've used him in the past, and I don't think he's ever learnt Solar Beam.
Hmm.
Spearow. Ow, ow. Go Brawler. Hit 3 times. Use Rock Throw. Super effective.
Well, at least we're doing, you know, decent damage now.
Let's Rock Throw all of these Spearow, eh?
Wow. Rock Throw is one of those ones where you might not be able to get it, you know, hit on.
Well, if you get Rock Slide later, which is slightly more damaging. Oh, tired today. Too much working, unfortunately. I wish gaming was my job.
Oh, we wish.
They lack Fury attack, don't they?
Well, it's their main attack, I think.
Didn't Fury learn Drill Peck later on? Birdkeeper Dennis was defeated. You were defeated, Dennis. Ooh. Rare candy. I love candy.
Don't we all?
Got a very sweet tooth. Oh, TM34. So we have to drop down the hole. Yes. I believe we have to go down that hole there. Here we are. Another sailor waiting for me.
I mean, you know, we probably could have dropped earlier, but obviously we wanted to see everything first.
Yeah, I got the items as well. Yeah, we're just picking up the litter as we go along. Oh dear me. Double slap. How dare you slap me?
Well, you know, we are a rock type, so maybe they thought they can just, like, you know, slap us and break us.
Slap some sense into us.
No, I can't slap any sense into me.
Frozen face go. I used Ice Punch, froze it solid. I was only on about that earlier, saying it was very effective at freezing them earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, strength does a good amount of damage.
I mean, strength is one of those, like, the main moves, the main HM moves I prefer to use. Strength is one of them, but obviously I normally use others because it's just normal type, so I don't normally use strength unless it's like the final, you know, only move with HP. HP? PP. The only other move I would generally use would be Surf, because Surf is one of the best, like, HM moves you could use.
Yeah, Waterfall was a pretty decent one for attack power as well. Whirlpool wasn't very good. It was just one of those moves where you could trap them, you know, and do a bit of damage each turn.
I mean, with Cut, it wasn't that amazing itself.
No. I mean, I originally was one of them people that thought Strength was a rock move because how it picks a big rock up and throws it at them. So I always thought it was a rock type move till I actually looked at the information on it and saw that it was a normal type.
See, I think with Strength, yeah, it's hard to see what, you know, how it would be used with, you know, Strength. Because obviously, you know, you've got Rock Throw, which is also a rock being thrown. You can't really say Strength and, you may as well just say Strength and Rock Throw are pretty much the same. It's just, you know, difference in type.
Oh, you survived. Now you beat me. No, I wanted to grow a level 2. Right. Gonna burn you now for that.
Not burning him.
Still burnt him. He touched my skin and I burnt him. Please don't put out my flames with your water. Please. I use grass on you now. And I headbutt you with my cotton spores. Now you feel itchy. Water's not going to wash those spores off. Don't be silly. I headbutt you again.
Don't we know any, like, grass type moves?
No, not yet, unfortunately. It's just Leech Seed at the moment, and that's not really damage enough to keep using, you know. If I'm using them for most of the Pokemon, I will throw it down just to keep me healed, but if I'm using it on just like one Pokemon or two, then there's no point. Till I get Mega Drain, that's its only really grass move. $720. Super Repel.
Ooh.
Just having a look, see if I can see any items, you know.
Never know.
Oh, there is one over there. Lucky I was looking.
I mean, you would have seen it when we got up to her anyway.
I thought her face then was like one big pig's nose. Or was it me? Like a big, like the two eyes.
I see it now.
The two eyes and a big pig's nose. That's what it looked like. Yes, I'll get some medicine for you, no problem.
Where's the medicine?
It's in sea and mud, so we've got to go over the sea. So we've got to safe down now, down to the island. Yeah, I need to go down up there, so... No, why have I just done that again? It's in the room with, what's her name? So I've got to go back into the main room. And then there's a hole on this side, yeah. Yes, that's the correct one now. And then down the next one, and then down the next one. And then I think there's one more afterwards. Oh no, there might be one more as well. Yes, there's one more. And now we shouldn't even near the bottom of the lighthouse again. Nice little shortcut. There we are.
I mean, you know, it's not the most safest of ways of going down.
No, I was thinking that myself. I mean, hopefully he was he had some ditto under his feet to, you know, cushion his fall a bit. Or a bouncy belly off a Snorlax, you know. Throw your Snorlax down and land on his belly.
Get it back in the Pokeball, do, you know, repeat and repeat.
Yeah, rinse and repeat.
But the only problem is, if you keep doing it, the floor is just going to collapse under the weight of the Snorlax.
Yeah, because at one point he was one of the heaviest Pokemon.
Wasn't he the heaviest Pokemon in Gen 1?
He was for the first few gens, I believe.
Because I know, like...
Whale Lord took the title, obviously, because that was ended up being the biggest Pokemon and the heaviest for a while. But then Eternatus took that, the size. Eternatus on that one as well, so...
And there's nothing since that's bigger than Eternatus, was there?
No, I don't believe so. Tentacool. Tentacool. No, don't poison me. I don't like poison.
You just have to be lucky then.
Oh no, I feel sick. What I think would be good if it was like real life, like if you get poisoned enough, you get a tolerance to it, and eventually, you know, it doesn't affect you. You build up like a immunity to it.
Wow, you do know that in later games, like there's that friendship where, you know, after some time they can overcome it because they don't want to see you sad.
Yeah, they did that with a few of the ailments as well, didn't they? Like when you're paralysed, it says, you know, he's paralysed no more.
I mean, I feel like items became kind of useless later on down the line because, you know, in some of the games you could wash them and wash away the status ailments and whatnot.
I remember, yeah.
And it got so easy to fly to a Pokemon Center that you don't really need items anymore.
See that we're going down to the island now, and we get fly from there. So at least we haven't got safe back. We can just fly back.
I mean, I don't mind surf, so.
No, I don't mind safe, but you know, it's quicker to fly back at least. And it's not like we can fly anywhere else after for a while because you can't fly. You can only fly to places you've already visited. So,
I mean, that alone is like, you know, pretty good.
Yeah, because I think it would shorten the game massively if you could just keep flying wherever you wanted.
But that's like that in a lot of games where you have to visit a place so that you could, like, you know, quick travel.
Yeah, that was the same as the Elder Scrolls as well. Once you'd been there, you can fast travel then.
Because I know a lot of games like have that mechanic so that you can't just skip forward.
Rapid spin. How dare you recover your HP back?
Well, you know, it doesn't like to be hurt.
Store you. I'm storing him with my swiftly store him now. I don't mind, yeah. I'll just keep throwing my stars at you. No,
Until
why?
you run out of moves.
At least it'll lower his defence for a bit. Chain recover doesn't heal your status drops and stuff as well. It would be like the ultimate move then.
I know. I mean, there aren't that any moves that can do recover health and restore statuses.
No, the only game I've seen doing that is when you're in Dynamax battles, where when they put the shield up, they can negate any effect, but that's only exclusive to Dynamax battles, and you can't do that on them. They can only do it, to themselves. You can't do that in the battle, which is a bit unfair, but I suppose that's how it works. Especially when you're 4-on-1. It's got to have some sort of upper hand on you. Shoulder. We'll see the Ghastly hiding in the shell. Oh, there he is.
I mean, since we already know there's the Dynamax, I think it would be interesting if Pokemon did a series where you all shrink. I know they did mystery dungeons where they shrunk and turned into a Pokemon. But I'm talking about if they shrunk and became the size really tiny, and then they actually find there's different types of really tiny Pokemon that you can't see.
Yeah, like obviously the microbial size ones.
Or even you've got many insects in our own physical world that no one would notice, but then you go down to their size and you probably notice all sorts of small creatures. I think that would be quite an interesting one to explore.
Yeah, I mean it's more ideas for the Pokemon Company.
Obviously, you wouldn't be able to use them in an actual battle against larger size Pokemon. But...
Yeah, you'd have different zones of battle, so you could drop down to a microscopic size, battle them Pokemon, and then you could also make yourself bigger than Dynamax to planet size ones, and then battle galactic size Pokemon.
I mean, it is worth considering having maybe not a portal per se, but a machine that changes your size depending, and then you could go to different areas.
Yeah, that'd be a very good idea. That I'd enjoy that feature in the games.
Or maybe to get to the next area, you have to either turn small or turn big, complete a task just to be able to get to the other side of, say, for example, if there's a mountain blockage that you can't go through, you have to turn small and maneuver past a path whilst being small and turning back big again.
Yeah. Or you could just walk into the ear of a Pokemon and then just go back big and then just decimate them from the inside out.
Well, I assume that the technology would have to be so that it doesn't affect, certain things, that you can't use it during certain times.
Still, good idea. Very good idea. If you're listening out there, Pokemon Company, I would like you to, look at some of the smaller creators like ourselves, because we offer just as good ideas, Tentacruel. Level 20 Tentacruel. He is very cruel, isn't he? Look, just throwing all his acid at me. How dare you throw your acid at me?
See, Rock Smash isn't really doing very much. I mean, yeah, people liked it just because it lowered defense, but it wasn't that amazing a move.
No, I quite liked Mud Slap because it lowered the accuracy to the point where they couldn't hit you, especially some of the... Do you remember in... what was it now? It might have been in Sword and Shield, actually, where you'd have some of these 7-star raids and you could lower the accuracy to the point where they couldn't actually hit you anymore, so you could just spam them. Until obviously they negated the status effect.
They always seem to manage to hit me fine.
I did use that technique on a few battles, to be fair, and it worked.
For me, you know, the battles never lasted long enough for it to be that effective.
The 7-star ones did, because you went toe to toe on them right to the end. There was no easy 7-star battle.
I mean, what I meant to say is like, there wasn't much point, because then you wanted to, you know, it was low damaging, so yeah, they couldn't really hit you, but then you were using Pokemon that, you know, it wasn't effective.
I think you're more thinking of a solo if you're going solo, whereas obviously I was on about something like Mew or something where you had to have 4 people to actually beat it.
I mean, eventually people came up with like, you know, things to be able to do it solo.
No, I think Mew was the only one that was unsolable, like you couldn't do it on your own. You like Poison Sting, don't you, Tentacool?
Well, it is their main like offensive attack.
I want it to whip me with its tentacles.
Nah, that's just too, like, you know... It'll fall because its balance would be out of sync.
Lucky I'm battling it in the sea and it's, you know, sat on its blob part and it could whip its tentacles.
Are you just gonna leave Chixie poisoned?
For now. Swimmer George sent out Tentacool. Cheers, George. Loving these tentacles. They're cool. Did you like the Toadscool later and Toadscruel? They're technically non-related, but they look very related.
Well, it's kind of like, it's just a redesign of the Tentacool and Tentacool, so...
And Wiglet and Wug Trio.
Also unrelated.
Yeah. And do you think the names are very similar? Wiglet, Diglett, Wug Trio, Dug Trio. They're saying, yeah, totally different Pokemon. And they had the same amount of, you know, things sticking out. I did like the Wiglet though, because I remember getting on the beach and seeing the little gold one sticking out. I was like, yeah, shiny.
I thought you said it was blue.
Was it blue? Or, I can't remember, you know, but I did notice it like really easily sticking out the sand when I went past.
I've still not gotten a shiny one yet, so...
I was actually after there was Slowpoke on the beach, a outbreak of them, and I was, you know, you see how hard it is to notice the colour of Slowpoke.
Ah, I know, I managed to run into one by mistake before.
I mean, Galarian Slowpoke's easy, it's gold.
No, it's got the gold patch on the top of its head, yeah. But other than that, you know, if it was like normal Slowpoke, it'd be very hard to tell.
But yeah, I remember I got mine on my second egg, remember? Remember when we were egg hatching, I was like, Slowpoke, second egg, and there's you 500 eggs. 600 eggs, sometimes even over 1,000 eggs to get a Pokemon.
Oh, shuckle.
Sword and Shield did like my egg hatching shiny look though.
Yeah, most of yours was on the 100 eggs, and most of mine was over 500, wasn't it?
On average, mine was around 80 eggs, 100 eggs, yeah, for shiny.
Let's not talk about my average.
I did have one though that was over 1,000, which was I think it was Poplio. My Poplio, I think that was 1,000 eggs. My fastest was Slowpoke after 2 eggs. And then, like you say, a lot of them were 50, 80, 100, 200.
Didn't you even say that it was like, 6 IVs?
No, it wasn't 6 IVs, it was only 4 IVs. Because the original Slowpoke I was breeding for, I wasn't intending to breed for the shiny immediately. I was breeding them to get a perfect one to pair with my perfect Ditto, so I can get the guaranteed 5 IV. But yeah, I got lucky. It was only a 1 IV one I was breeding it with, and it ended up with 3 IVs, I think. Still, so I still got lucky with it. But the IVs are a bonus, you know. It's the shiny that you all want. You can always hyper train them anyway.
Except it's not hyper training anymore.
Well, we're the OG gamers though, so we still call it hyper training.
Wow, even hyper training wasn't even OG.
Cause I remember in Sword and Shield, it was the guy with the what was that snow Pokemon called? The Abominous Snow, yeah. You had to go to him with the bottle caps.
No, but like in the original games, you had to battle specific Pokemon to IV train. No, EV train, sorry. EV train. So yeah, you had to battle specific Pokemon, and later on, they started adding more mechanics in so that you could train them.
I mean, hyper training was for the IVs, though, wasn't it? To make them the best.
You know what? I'm getting confused with the two because there was a hyper training. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I was speaking about the training room from.
Then you had the games, didn't you? You had different methods throughout different gens for the EV training. I mean, Sword and Shield, it was you sent them on this like thing together for the day. You get all 6 on them, and they go out, and then they come back after a day. Or you could leave them for, I think it was it a week, and then you got them all to the max for that stat.
No, it was 2 days. Yeah, it was 2 days because it was 2 24-hour sessions.
And you couldn't time skip either, you had to wait. Stormy, level 20. Oh yes, I love these bubbles. Thanks, Stormy.
I always thought, like, you know, Bubble and Bubble Beam weren't too different because the only difference was their PP, but then once you start using Bubble Beam, by jolly, it was like a huge difference in damage.
Yes, it was. Rapid spin.
Wasn't the jewel in the middle meant to be red?
I think it was, yeah. Because even the colour is slightly off as well, the actual Stormy's colour there.
Well, I remember like Starmie, like because I found Starmie to be like a really nice Pokemon to have and use back in the first gen. Wow, I didn't use Starmie that much, but it's because when I saw it in the animated series, I thought, wow, Starmie's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a nice Pokemon.
I thought it was quite unique as well.
Yeah, I mean that light, the jewel, it used to light up, didn't it? Like when it was low, you know, when it passed,
health.
It'd go beep 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 and flash.
Still, Ash beats Starmie.
Did indeed. With his Pikachu, wasn't it?
Yes.
Was it Misty's Stormy that actually learned how to use Thunder by spinning really fast at one point?
Was
Because
it?
in the animated series, yeah, someone managed to use a Stormy. It would spin that fast that it could generate electric and actually use Thunder.
Oh, I don't remember that. But then again, I don't remember much, so I need to rewatch it all.
I will do at some point. It's getting time to do that though, isn't it? With all hectic lifestyles.
So much to do and so little time.
It's very true. Work being one of them, you know. It pays the bills. Worked since we left school. Worked whilst I was even at school. I had paper rounds and, you know, had to do a lot of chores for my parents. You know, cutting the lawn and stuff at the age of 12.
Yeah, but like chores for parents don't really class as like jobs anymore.
No, I know.
It's expected.
You see the kids nowadays, they don't do any of that now, do they?
Just have to teach them to do it, you know, because obviously when they are living on their own or maybe with someone, it's stuff that they have to do anyways.
You stay asleep, Gyarados. Bye bye.
I mean, we're getting through it pretty decently.
Yeah.
You know, we're not at a bad like you know, level right now. Gyarados again.
I remember when I first saw Gyarados, because obviously I'd never watched the series, I used to call that Gyarados. Gyarados. Because I used to collect the cards before I even played the game or watched the anime.
I remember when it was slated to come out and everyone was so hyped for the game.
I actually didn't like the Pokemon animated series when I very first saw it because I didn't like the fact how the Pokemon just said their names repeatedly, and it did put me off, but after watching it a few times I got used to it and then I did get into it. Swimmer Cake was defeated. I am beat. You certainly are. And you only give me 160.
Well, you know, they are in the middle of the sea. It's very hard to keep money on.
I take card payment, okay? I carry my own card machine with me.
Yeah, well, most people didn't use card back then.
I did. You know, they let me out, set me off on my journey at the age of like, what was it? 12. And you know, I even had my own account and everything back then.
Yeah, but back then it was mainly because card payments wasn't that prominent back then. It was mainly drawing money out from the cash point.
It is beautiful, yes. The weather is absolutely beautiful. It is here as well at the moment. Very warm outside today. Finally getting some summer, aren't we?
Some might say too warm.
It's not too bad. I mean, it is where I work, but you know, even with air conditioning, it's not the best. But people always complain in the winter, it's too cold. I'm one of them that don't.
I have an hoodie, so you know.
I'm very I think I'm very warm-blooded, so I do actually like the cold.
Oh no.
I defeat you with a quick attack. Bye bye. It's good move, that quick attack in scenarios like that, where their next move could, you know, potentially knock you out. And then if you can get a quick move, then guaranteed.
Oh, imagine going with extreme speed, even faster than quick attack.
I think though, if you had Shadow Sneak, I think that still beats extreme speed. I think it still went first. Yeah. I think that move always goes first if they're using a physical attack on you, I think. Swimmer Matthew sent out Krabby. Another Krabby. Seen a lot of Krabbies today.
Yeah, but Krabbies look really cool.
Oh, Crab Claw. Tasty. Much nicer than Slowpoke Tail. Not that I've tried Slowpoke Tail.
Wow, not officially anyways. You know, the only way to get Slowpoke Tail is through the back channels of Team Rocket.
Through the dark web, as they say. You were defeated.
Nah, I just went up to my local Team Rocket grunt and I'm like, how much for Slowpoke Tail?
Not far off now, but we're very close to seeing Mud now anyway, just around the corner.
I hope. See, the swimming part of our Pokemon is always a bit slower than any of the other parts.
Yeah, it is. Smoke screen. Never really liked that move.
Well, it's always useful against you, but when you use it against an opponent, the opponent never seems to be affected. Is what I've always found.
Increasing your evasiveness is technically lowering their accuracy. It's the same thing, really, essentially.
Yeah, but if you do both at the same time, then you would literally be untouchable.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I don't know about these games and how the stats work. I don't think that'd work. Only just, I feel like you can only do it so much. Still.
Well, it'll be like lowering stats. Lowering stats only take you down to 5 anyway, so the accuracy would only go down by 5.
Love the surf music in these games.
I think I missed the original.
Hey, Britsy and Mud. Let's heal up. We'll have a quick bit of nattery for now.
People always have that good information.
You do that, sir. Jim uses fighting type Pokemon, so that's good to know.
Yeah, luckily we've got a strong move against strong type against it.
Yeah, we've got our Pudge. Good evening, we are out late.
It's a shame there are no beds for us.
It's one thing I like about the Pokemon world. You know, no matter what time you go out, there's still people wandering around everywhere. Seeing Wood Pharmacy.
Can even go into the houses late at night as well.
The Lighthouse Pokemon is in trouble, I got it. Secret potion.
Well, if it's a bit tad strong, can't you just weaken it slightly?
That must have been hard. Nah, not really. You can't fly over the city, man. If you beat the gym leader here, come and see me. I'll have a nice gift for you. So when we beat the gym, we'll go speak to her and I'm guessing she'll give us fly.
Well, I like to think so.
And then we can just fly back and not have to get wet again. Pokemon party is full. Right, let's go see what he's going to give us, eh?
I do love a free Pokemon.
Bill's PC. Right, let's go and see what they'll give us, eh?
Hopefully something good.
You know what, I actually forgot what they give you. I do remember the 4 islands on the way. Seafoam Islands. So where Lugia is it? In
I
them.
believe so.
Yeah. Right, let's go get this free Pokemon anyway. Is it a Shuckle? I can't remember.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Shucky. That's a nice name, actually, Shucky. Took the berry from him.
Well, in all fairness, if we kept the berry on him, it, over time would turn into...
Can you guess what I'm going to do with Shucky? Straight in the box. What we're looking after him still, he's in our possession. Safe.
Well, technically, Shuckle was, back then, a very OP Pokemon with Trick Room.
I don't know if it learned it in this gen. Trick Room, I didn't know if that was a thing. Because I know in later gens it did. You could learn it, and I think what it did was it swap your high defense for attack.
Yeah, swap your defense for attack.
Mixsting, Mouthy, all the old names I named them. Mixsting, that was a good name actually. Right.
There's the sisters.
Yes, we know. A port surrounded by rough seas.
Well, it doesn't seem that rough right now.
Take a snapshot as a keepsake.
That's for the Pokemon, other game, the printer.
Yeah. I remember that because it was good for the unknown decks as well, wasn't it? Print out your name in the unknown alphabet. I never had one of them printers. I always wanted one as well.
I think a lot of people wanted it.
I bet they'd be worth a fortune now, if anyone still has them.
Wow, I'm not too sure. I mean, you'd probably need to get it, unused.
The Pokeseer is ahead. I can see Pokemon. Can you?
Maybe they can tell our future. Ooh.
Suicune.
That's not Suicune.
Hmm?
Is that Suicune?
Yeah, because when you see me runs off, you find him in a lot of places, don't you, in this game? Waiting for you. And then I think you have to initiate each one sequence so you can actually come to the point where you can catch him.
No, every single time he'll run away. The only way to stop it is using...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you don't go up there now, that'll stay there, even if you don't go see it. You have to press on it for it to move to the next place. And I think to catch the Suicune later, you have to find it at all the places first, then it goes in the wild and you just have to randomly find it. Because it's one of them that moves around every time you change area as well. Annoying they are, to be fair.
I never liked that egg system where it's just randomly generated.
You used to have to use a repel and then get it to go in the same area so you could catch it.
Trying to get it to the same area was a pain in the ass.
There was a sequence, so like you could actually see the pattern where it would go eventually. Drowsy. Didn't that happen with one of them, the trio later? Was it Me Spirit and that? Didn't they move around as well?
Yes.
I thought they did.
And you also had Latios and Latias.
And they moved around as well, did they?
Yeah. I mean, I think you managed to catch one, but then the other one would be roaming, but I can't remember properly.
I thought one was exclusive to each version.
Oh, if that's the case, then it was. I think they definitely moved.
Because that was 3rd gen as well, wasn't it?
I think
they had like 12 legendaries.
Cresselia moved around as well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Cresselia did. Yeah.
I really didn't like that system because it made catching the legendaries so much harder.
Their patterns got a lot more complex as well later to find which town they were going to go to next. So at one point I'd just keep flying to the same town over and over until the actual Pokemon landed in the one I was in. Because you had to sort of fly to an area where it's when you find some grass, it doesn't leave the area again, because if it left the area again, that Pokemon would move again. So the grass literally had to be in the same sort of frame of where you're flying. Haunter. I love Haunter.
But one good thing is, yeah, as you damaged it, the next time you met it, it would keep the same damage.
Yeah, that's true.
So I always try to keep them asleep.
Hypnosis. Oh, you're talking about keeping me asleep. He uses hypnosis and puts me asleep.
Putting me asleep?
And me. It's the heat, I think, as well. I'm glad I'm off work tomorrow, though. I need a bit of a break. Might make some more content for YouTube. So yeah, guys, get on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button for us. That would be absolutely great for your support. Me and East do put content on there regular.
Trying to do anything and everything.
Yeah, we're just playing the games that we enjoy. And we want to share that enjoyment with you guys. I'm sure you enjoy them games. That's why you watch the videos. If you like them particular games. Sometimes you know, you don't have access to a console anymore, and you want to see that game and remember for yourself what it was like to play.
If there's any games that you want to see, like West or like myself East, to play, just let us know. Yeah,
we're always happy to take requests. Even if you want us to play on a harder difficulty, or you know, whichever, we don't mind. It seems to have grown a little. Cinder seems to be becoming more confident. Well done, Cinder.
I believe she was the only way of telling whether your Pokemon liked you enough, and it was mainly used for Espeon and Umbreon.
Yeah, and was Happiny in this one? No.
No.
4th gen, wasn't it, Happiny? Yeah, Blissey was this gen, though. Yeah, we'll heal up now. Right, I'm going to take a break for now. I'm getting hungry and, you know, want a bit of a break, get a bit of a breather. So thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Wes signing out.
Yeah, my throat is getting a little bit dry now, so I think just a quick break. East out.
Drink like the social, feeling like the club, gonna be the best. Pushing all the barriers and playing for a game. Say Super Bowl and remember our names.